I feel that one of the curses of becoming a professional photographer, a director, or videographer is that you end up running from your passion because it has now become work. It's mundane and it's forced. Isn't that ironic? We work for free to build a portfolio so that we could create for pay. And then when it finally happens, we run back to creating for free. Well, that is if you don't understand balance. And for me, my friend, I am a student of balance. I am definitely not a teacher of balance. And what happens when you don't have this so-called balance? Let me say this isn't a story of self-pity. It's a window into the creative process and lessons that I've learned that I'll share with you towards the end of the video. If you're new here, I invite you to stay. If you're a bit more advanced, there's hopefully a lesson here for you too, and I really think that there is. By the way, if you are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Walid. I'm an LA-based photographer and director, and now after many years, I'm getting into creative direction. And if you're not new, welcome back, and thank you for coming back. So, at the beginning of March this year, I told my client that I just needed 1 week off. I just needed to catch up, I needed to sit, I needed to breathe. And I said I'm overwhelmed, I said I'm overworked, both of which are true, and I'm unable to do my best. Also true. I have taxes due, I have personal taxes, I have corporate taxes. I have a website to rebuild, and I have a business to tend to, I have courses, I have students, and I of course have their business that I'm the creative director for. I have a home to clean, I have equipment in cabinets that I need to organize. And believe it or not, I have wires for USB-C, USB 2, USB whatever else. I have to just sit there and just be. So I can be the best for everyone else. And to my surprise, she said, I get it. But how about you take a full month? But you have to promise me that you will travel somewhere and you must go for more than 1 week, because 1 week is not enough. Bless her, by the way. And that's what you see. Me in Puerto Vallarta, a last-minute decision, walking the streets. I got an Airbnb the night before I landed and the tickets the day before that. But I wasn't into the touristy aspect of Puerto Vallarta. I asked my friend Matt and he said, go to Puerto Vallarta, you'll love it, and you haven't been to that side of Mexico yet. I went there because I heard it was a mix of tourism and that Mexican small town vibe. I went there because it was a mix of rivers and mountains, tropical but also kind of dry, a beautiful ocean of big waves but also calm enough for some fishing boats. There's nothing more beautiful than chipped paint on fishing boats. And this is where I learned to let go. Sort of. At least that's the beginnings of it, and I hope that you learn a lesson here too. While you watch photographs that I took of beautiful Mexico. They're not my best photos, but they kind of are at the same time because I didn't follow any rules. I didn't have any rules of composition or have any clients there. I just photographed whatever I saw, whatever I wanted. Like how I started. Back to the beginning. So I traveled there with just myself, a big duffel bag, and my Fuji X100V camera. So I had a quest. Fall back in love with just creating. It's like how I used to do it, as I just said. Not just taking pictures or videos or creative direction, just creating as a human. As humans, we are meant to create. Take pictures of little chickens that won't want to come near me and colorful family homes. Just hopefully I get to see laundry hanging, beautiful colorful clothes, and people living a life that is different than what I see every day in Los Angeles. And just to capture it, to have the honor of capturing someone else's life without an agenda, without a shot list, or a client checking my work, or Lightroom, or Capture One. But I also can't keep doing this. I can't keep stopping work just because I'm overwhelmed, just because I haven't mastered balance yet. Except at the end of this video, I do have a system put in place now. I mean, this business has never been easy. I've never claimed it to be easy, and probably no creative ever has. I visit a small town called Mismaloya. It's a smaller town. It's beautiful. It's where the river from the mountains come down and meets the sea. Something about rivers to me is the most calming thing in the world. Clear, running water, about ankle deep. Nothing can relax me more than just standing in the middle of a creek. No ocean, no lake, definitely no pond. And I fell in love with that so much that when I went back to my Airbnb that night, I felt like my empty cup, my creative cup, was just a little bit more full. I loved the feeling of that. So I looked at the map and I found another place. Looked it up on YouTube, found some great videos, and it was a small town called Boca de Tomatlan. When I say small, I mean no ATM. They don't accept credit cards or debit cards, no crypto, nothing. It's a tiny little town, very quiet, also where the river meets the sea, a small fisherman town. And they have water taxis that take you to a small private little beach called Colomitos. Forgive my mispronunciation, but I chose the road less traveled because that's what we do, right, as creatives? Found a small little bridge, crossed the creek, did a strenuous 45-minute hike that was worth every single sore muscle. And it was on that private beach where I lost connection with the world, the internet, data, everything, that I was able to properly think. And I thought, okay, this is beautiful. I will definitely be back here again. But I can't come here because I'm depleted. I have to come here because I want my cup to spill over. So I need to think of a system, and this is the system that I'll speak about in just 1 minute. But before I tell you about that, let me tell you about another town that I went to. Each town kept getting smaller and smaller. La Cruz de... I'm not going to say the name, but it's on screen. I don't want to even mispronounce it or disrespect it that way. And in that small town, I ran into one of my really good friends, Darcy. That's a whole other story, but we spent a couple hours there that day together, and then they left, and I just walked around the town myself, photographing everything. Every town had its own personality, every town its own new level of kindness. If you think Mexico is beautiful through these photos, I haven't even begun to do this nation justice. It's such a beautiful nation, beautiful people, and an even more beautiful culture. But I don't have to sell you on Mexico, you already know. So what were the lessons that I learned? You've been watching beautiful Mexico through the video footage and me capturing some images and some of the photos that hopefully you think some of them are pretty. I guess I should say there are lessons to be learned in just letting myself go. You sat here with me this whole time wondering what I learned, or probably more likely just admiring beautiful Mexico. But no camera, by the way, could justify the beauty of this nation, even though I tried. In photographing what came to me, I was able to just relax. I was able to let go of any constructs or rules, just me and my camera. It's how I saw Mexico. And I forgot about those client deadlines. I forgot about the shot lists and the rules of composition. I forgot about the legal contracts and the accounting. I forgot about organization and hard drives and upload speeds. I just photographed whatever I wanted, knowing that the images may not end up anywhere. But this video may be a photo album, and maybe one of them framed on my wall. You might be wondering what I learned during this 10-day experience. Well, I learned that balance is key. You already know that. But I divide it now into 3 categories. I'm not claiming, again, to be a teacher in balance. I'm still a student just like you. But the 3 systems are what I call systematic balance, seasonal balance, and daily balance. Let me start with systematic balance first. Systematic means you just have to have a system in place. This is something I've tried in the past, and I've had success with it. For example, I would have 3 commercial shoots. where I'm working for a client and I have rules and I have expectations. And then the fourth shoot had to be something for me, whether it was my nieces or sunsets or birds diving for fish in the water. It was just for me, whatever I wanted. So that I didn't hate my camera, so that it didn't become strictly a work tool. The seasonal balance one is something I learned from my friend Brandy Greenleaf, who is a phenomenal event planner. And she's based in New York City, and she's done events for Oprah and billion-dollar brands and all that. I said, Brandy, do you have balance? And she said, what's that? And then she told me her balance. She goes hard. She works so hard. She'll have 2 massive events back to back, sleepless nights. But then when they're both done, or all 3 are done, or that one is done, then she has a dead time. And she'll travel, and she'll go, and she'll have wine, and she'll go on long walks, and that's hers. It's almost like seasons, highs and lows. And if that works for you, that's beautiful also, because she knows after every storm, the sun will come back out. And then there's the third one, which is what I call daily balance, and I would argue probably the healthiest and the most attainable, especially for beginners. Every day, you add some stress because of work, and stress can be good or bad, and then every day, you pour some of that stress out. Think of it like a cup. So that means you go on walks and you go sit in the sun and you write, or maybe you paint or you jog, or you go see loved ones. You do something for you, not just for the client. So whether it's daily balance, seasonal balance, or systematic, incorporate something that works for you. Treat yourself like you would treat a client, like royalty. If you've stayed here this long in this video, you're obviously very invested in your future, and thank you. But treat yourself like you would treat a client. Schedule it. Treat yourself like royalty. Schedule time off for yourself, like you would schedule time on for your clients. See, your clients, the really good ones, they expect you to have a clear mind. They're investing in your unique ideas and how you uniquely see the world. They need you to be fresh. They need this machine, this creative machine that you are, to travel, to see things, to taste things and smell new things. Be fresh, and then bring those fresh ideas to them. It's a system that keeps feeding each other. And it doesn't have to be unhealthy, it could be something that everyone wins. But on the flip side, what happens if you don't have balance? Isn't that interesting? The person that made a video about not understanding balance is now going to teach you about the dangers of it. Well, hear me out. Because as much as I'm speaking with you, I'm speaking with myself too. You suffer burnout, and I've been there before many times. Constant work without adequate rest, it will lead to burnout. And that's physical exhaustion, emotional exhaustion, and then cynicism. Have you ever seen a cynical artist? Look on Twitter, look on Threads, look at the comments. Those are burnt out creatives. And after that comes decreased creativity. That means stifled creativity is horrible. The brain needs downtime to process information, to generate these new ideas. You gotta make those creative connections. Again, the irony is not lost on me. I'm speaking to myself as much as I'm speaking to you. The third one is, I would say, the worst one. A lack of balance can lead to stress-related health issues like anxiety, insomnia, depression, and then eventually leading to physical health issues like heart disease. And then there's another one, there's a spiritual death too. It's the loss of passion. And I take that very seriously because as a creative, especially if you've listened to me this whole time and you've watched these videos of Mexico with me, you know that you took a road less traveled. This is what I said earlier. You took that bumpier road, and it'll be such a great loss for you, for me, for the rest of the world, for you to stop creating. Because what you can do, nobody else can do. No one in their wildest dreams can see the world the way you see the world. We're all unique, even with AI. Natural intelligence will beat artificial intelligence any day. We're all uniquely different. That's why our fingerprints are all very, very different from each other. And if you suffer that much burnout, you're going to suffer a loss of passion. And that is the end of your career. And as I say that, I'm ever more thankful for my client for being brave enough to tell me, Waleed, don't take the week off, take the whole month off. Waleed, you need to go somewhere, and you need to go for more than a week. I'm so thankful for people like that, and I wish the same kind of clients for you, and I'm going to give this client the very, very best of me. That's true collaboration. By the way, I have 2 videos on screen that will also help you on your voyage to having a successful career. My name is Waleed Azami. Thank you for watching this. Please add to the conversation in the comments. I want to know what you think. If you have additional tips, I want to learn from you. And my work is at waleedazami.com. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope I get to see you again.